Hello everybody! Today we're making this awesome fairy house. My name is Jackie from Color Me Mine, and we have this cool house that I'm going to show you how to make. But don't forget to check out our other videos where we have a cute little lucky horseshoe, some fun little animal friends, a starfish, and many more fun projects. So today we're going to focus on this fairy dragon house. We can add a little dragon, which we'll do a little bit later. But let's get started. So first you're going to need some clay. Now this is polymer clay and you cook it in your oven. So I already started warming mine up a little, but we want to roll it and squeeze it. That way it's nice and warm and malleable. Now, I already ripped off a little bit because we're going to need 2 parts of this color. So, first, have you guys ever made a pinch pot before? I'm going to show you how to do it. So, we're going to stick our thumb right in here. And then we're going to squeeze and pinch like this. Oh, cracking fingers, oh my. So now we squeeze. Notice I'm rotating this as I do it. So we're gonna squeeze. Now that it's big enough, I can use my hands. I'm pressing my thumb down and I'm pinching the sides. So you notice it's getting thinner and thinner. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because we've got a lot of work to do on this, okay? So now I go in and pinching and squeezing. It's getting awful thin. So now what I like to do is squeeze that. There we go. So after this part, I like to press gently with my fingers and rotate this outside part. That way you suddenly get like the smooth texture again. See? So that's why we don't have to worry about this bumpy at the beginning. So we just press it. This also makes it a little bit bigger. So now we have a nice clean dome, kind of like a chocolate. Now we'll take our second part, and I'm going to use this part of my hand. It's the strongest part. I'm going to press down. It's starting to make a little disc. And once I got it pretty flat, I'm going to take my marker and roll this out. This is going to make it as our little base of the house. This part's the upper part, which I know looks a little wide now, but as we go, we can pinch it onto here and make it a little taller. I'm just going to make this a tiny bit wider. Notice as I'm rolling, I'm turning it around. All right. Excuse me. Don't forget when you cough to cover your mouth. So now you see how I'm pressing this over. So we're creating a dome. Push, push, push. And then I'm gonna pop it and see now it's closed. So you're gonna still make sure these edges are nice and sealed together by pinching. And then we have our little dome for our house. Now what we need is a little door, and you can put a window too if you want. So this is a little hard to show because you kind of need the table to keep your piece down. So you're gonna cut a little door and a little window. Now what I'm gonna do, I'll show you a up and down video or like version, and then I'll try and do it over here. But basically you're gonna keep your dome there. You're going to hold it on 2 sides, and you're going to cut open with this and make your door. So you'll do it like that. Now, the trick to this is to make sure your clay is sturdy. So if it feels very squishy, like some colors are super, super squishy. So if it's like that, what you can do is put it in the freezer for just a minute, and then it'll get nice and hardy. Now this one's already pretty hardy, so I'm just gonna go in there You see how I'm slowly kind of dragging it? So that's kind of moving it. So what I'm gonna do, since it's still a little squishy, I'm gonna poke it. I'm poking holes in it, and then I can more easily go through it, okay? So I'm actually, since I don't have a refrigerator with me, I'm gonna use one of my other tools really quick. And we're just gonna pop that open. There we go. Again, it would be easier holding it like this, and then if it was firmer, like again, you want to put it in the freezer at home for like a minute. And now I have a little door. So we're gonna pinch those edges to make them nice. And you can also stick your finger in now and make it like more a shape, like a different shape if you want, or like extend it. So now we have like a little cave, little chocolate cave. There we go. And you'd use the same technique to make a little window. So again, I'm going to use my more pointy grown-up tool to just poke a couple of holes and cut out a little window. And as long as you do the freezer trick, it should work a little better for you. All right, so now it looks kind of gross, but we can use our fingers. I bet your fingers would work better if they're smaller. We can pop open this window. There we go. All right, so now that we have our door and our window, we can go to our roof, and then we can add details. So the way you do the roof, you have a new color. You could use the same color if you wanted. Roll, and then just to warm it up, and also it makes it easier to grab pieces. And we're just gonna roll that with our hands into a ball, and then you're going to squish, and that's going to create our little roof piece. So we're going to keep going. You can make them bigger or smaller depending on what you're looking for. I think maybe I'll make them a little smaller this time actually. So we're going to roll and squeeze. Roll and squeeze. Now you don't need actually a lot of these, so you can just make a few and then like go and see how it works. You can do a different roof entirely if you want, which I can show you some examples, but you see I'm just squeezing and making these little ones. Works pretty fast when you have squishy clay. All right, let's get a little bit more for that. And if it's not the right size, you can always add more or take out. Whatever works. You are in no rush when making art. You want to take your time. All right, so now that I have a few, I'm gonna start. We're gonna press it gently, just pop it on there. We're making our first layer. So you're just going around, again, pressing gently. We got that. And then we can start on another one. And when we put another layer on, we're gonna go in between the lines. Now they're not gonna match up perfectly, and that's totally fine. So we got that as a start. Kind of makes it look like a dragon egg. All right. And you notice I used 2 different colors for the fairy house. So we can just squeeze those, roll. Works pretty fast. I hope you're all having a good day. Is this gonna be a fairy house or a dragon house for you? Comment below. I always love hearing what you guys said. always cool to see unique ideas. All right, so I'm just continuing to go around, and then we get to that top, I can just pop that one on top. Look at that, how cool. You can add more or less if you want. Another option, I'm gonna pop these off. So since it's brown, we could make an acorn if we wanted to, huh? So what we can do, take a little bit of clay, roll it up, and we're gonna make another pinch pot kind of. So we're pinching. Oh, I'm gonna need more clay than that. Let's add the rest. We're gonna roll, and then we're gonna kind of squish and press. There we go. All right, so now that I have kind of this little circle, I'm gonna do my technique again to make it smooth by pressing it against the table. Look at that. And then we have a little acorn top. But you know what would make it look more like an acorn is if we took our tool here and we did some lines. So watch as I go all the way down making stripes like this. We're gonna add one more there. Then we're gonna turn it so that they go across for us. They go across, and then we're gonna go this way. Now you see the house is bending a little, that's fine, we can fix it. So we're going across, kind of like the top of an acorn. Now we just pop that back open and we set it down. Last but not least, we need a little stem. Boop. Look at that, how cute. All right. Now, if you get cracks like this, what you can do is grab a little extra clay, make sure it's super warm in your hands first, and then just pop it right there. You can wrap it around and squeeze it, and there you go, it's fixed. All right, so now with our little acorn guy, let's set him down. There we are. Going to set these aside, and let's make a little flower thing. How about that? So the way I did this one is I took something like this and I cut it in half. So we can just go right like that if we want. Then you pat down the end. We can discard this one and then take some green for some leaves. So now what I did for little leaves is I just made little noodles. You can kind of see little noodles, and set that there, and then just set them on the bed. So we can stick them right there. You can do as many or as little as you want. You can make them balls instead if you want a more fluffy bush kind of look. And so you see I'm squishing it, and then you can roll it, or you can roll it between your fingers. There we go. I think that's enough greenery for this one. And then I'm going to take some yellow. I'm going to squeeze this. We're going to make it into a ball, and then we're going to press it down. Now I'll take the pointy side. We're going to indent the edges to look like a flower. Excuse me, goodness. And then we're going to take, I'm going to do purple. Oh, here's my white. So I'll take a little bit of this. And then I'm going to roll it into a ball. It's a little too much. I'm going to roll and then set it right there. And let's make one more. We're gonna roll it, roll, then squeeze. This will be a bigger flower. You're gonna bump in. You can make as many or as little petals as you want. We're rolling our other little white piece, pressing down, and then we'll put this on the edge and put the flowers on top. That one kind of hid the window, didn't it? So you can adjust them as you please. I don't know, I think that's kind of fun. What do you think? All right, now lastly, like I had mentioned, this could be a dragon house too, a little acorn dragon. So what we're gonna do is take a color and we're gonna make like a long snake type shape. So we're gonna move this a little farther back, and we're gonna roll. Make sure you have plenty of space. Now once I get this way, I'm gonna only roll on this side to make it thinner. All right, so now that we have like the tail shape, what I will do is pop this part off. Maybe extend this just a tiny bit more. Then we're gonna make the head. So we'll roll it up, and then we'll make a fat, like snaky worm guy. Then I'm gonna go over like this. We're starting to get that shape. Now we wanna give him, put two tiny balls, roll and squish, roll, squish, and then you see I'm kind of squishing it sideways to make little dragon ears. Boop, one, and then I'm going to squish that circle flat so it's kind of like a rectangle. We'll put that one on this side. Remember to take your time, that's key. We'll take our dowel and we'll poke an eyeball there, an eyeball there, and then we need two little nose dots. There we go. Now what you can do is take a little bit of another color, roll it so that it's like a teeny tiny worm. You can poke right on top. There we go. Again, roll it between your fingers, and then boop. There we go. Now we add the head to our little body we made. And then we can wrap it on our little acorn. There we go. Now that he's on our acorn, we can give him little arms and legs. So I made a worm, and now I'm gonna tap it on the table to make flat ends. Make sure it's flat. And I'll pull it apart and we'll add it, whoop, onto the acorn. See, now we have his arms. He's squishing the stem a little bit. And then for the legs, we want to make a little ball. We'll squish. Then we want to pinch just one end, kind of making a teardrop shape. But we'll squish the circular part, so then it becomes a little leg. We can add that on. Now I made mine a little too big, That's okay, we can start over. So I'm gonna take this and actually go in half. And then again, we have a ball. We'll squish, pinch, press, pinch a little more. There we go. We got another little foot. Roll, squish, pinch, press, pinch. And then we have another leg. So I'll put that one there. There we go. Now what's the most important part of a dragon? It's wings. So I'm going to take the rest of this green, I'm going to roll it and pinch it so they're pretty even. And then what I'm going to do is pinch it into a circle and use the table to turn it kind of into a half circle. There we go. Now with that, you can take your skewer and make some details. So I'm going to go around with a half circle and I'm going to make little lines. And that's my dragon wing. We'll put it right there. So again, we have our circle. We'll press it and then make sure it's flat on one side so it's a half circle. Then, other side of the skewer, we're going to go around for our details on the wings. And we'll go boop, 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 boop. And then we'll put that on this side. And you just want to press gently. There we go. So now we have a dragon on our little acorn house. How cool is that? You could use the same technique with the horns to make teeth or little spines all the way down. Whatever you want. It's your creation. Well, thanks so much for creating with me. I hope you guys have a great day, and don't forget to check out the rest of our videos, okay? Bye-bye.